Hi everybody, fellow ropers. Back again. Today I'm going to attempt a second bowl making the quilt block work in the bottom of a bowl. So I found at a yard sale a whole stack of, let me get one here, of these smaller quilt blocks. They're from like the 1980s. Somebody put a lot of work into it, just never finished making the quilt. So, and I'm not a quilter. And I like crazy quilting, but not true quilting. That's a class all its own. But I love these little quilt blocks, so I think they will look nice in the bottom. I thought they would look really good in the bottom of one of our rope bowls. So here's my attempt at doing that. So I made one yesterday, and it's okay. I think I can improve it a little better. We'll see today. We'll see how this video goes. So this is what I finished it off like. This is what it looks like. This rope is the mountain thread rope I used. I usually use this Walmart. This is my favorite rope to use for smaller bowls and baskets. It's just firmer. This mountain thread from the Mountain Thread company in North Carolina. It's a very nice rope, but it's not as firm. It's not as firm as the one I get at Walmart, which is, I think, is $8 for like 100 yards. Because here's a bowl that I made. Whoop, upside down. It's much firmer. And I just prefer that. So there's nothing wrong with this. It's very nice. The Mountain Thread company's rope is quite nice. Sews beautifully. But I just like the firmness. It's a little firmer. Just my personal preference. So anyway, so what we're going to do today, as quick as I can, and try to improve my camera work, is I'm going to use the Walmart Hyper Tough diamond braided clothesline. So what I did was I made the base, as you can see here, because that's the underside. This is the other side. I'm using my another Kenmore, an older 1970s Kenmore machine. The light bulb burnt out on the other one I was using, so I'm waiting for replacement bulbs for that. But this guy here is pretty good. I got this actually for free. Somebody gave it to me for free. And I do prefer these vintage machines, especially for sewing rope bowls. So anyway, get back to our rope bowl making here. I made this base. The base I made at, what is that, like 6.5? Yeah, 6.5 inches, because this little block is 7.5 inches, more or less. Now what I did, because it's a quilt, I decided to use fusible fleece on the back of it. So it has that quilt effect. You know, they're kind of like fluffy. So, and that's how this one did turn out, as you can see. So we're going to do some like cheating quilting here. So here's how we do it, how I do it. I don't know how other people do it. Is I make my base, whatever size your block is. And are we in the camera here? Yeah. Push the machine back a little. Okay. And, okay, where is that? And what I use is this, you can use anything, any kind of air pen or even a pen, doesn't matter. But I'm using this little tool that has kind of like chalk inside of it. Can you see it? And it's got a little rolly thing here. I forget who made Dritz or somebody, one of those. You can pick it up at your Joann's, I'm sure. And a clover. Here you go. Learn to read. Clover. So this is what I do, is I just go around after I make my base. And this makes a little chalk line all around it like that, more or less. Does not have to be perfection because we're going to cut it. So that's the base. So what I then do is I take my scissors. Okay, let me make sure I stay in my camera. And trim it. You can trim it pretty close. My experience is pretty close to the chalk line. Like this. It was hard for me to cut this quilt block the first time. But now I'm used to it. So then I have this nice little circle. This I can discard. And let's see. Turn it over. Let's see how it fits. Pretty good. Still needs a little more trimming, but that second trimming I do after I place it on here and use the circle, the base, for the more of a closer pattern, because this is way too much sticking out, because then it comes and shows through the bottom, so we don't want that. So I just use a glue stick, any glue stick, or probably a spray basting if you have that. I have that too, but I'll just use this glue stick for now. It just needs to tack it down a bit, like so. And so this is the other side, and check it around and see if you need some adjustment, like I need a little bit of adjustment there. Okay, then you can trim it. Adjust it a little more there. Then you just trim it close, because this is thick with the fusible fleece on it. I usually just use like a regular interfacing for all my fabric bases. Firms the fabric up a little. Gives the fabric a little more stability. So you see I'm cutting quite a bit off. Okay, I cut this little slot here where it's going to, where the rope is. The end of the rope. I'll cut some more off here. Your zigzag will catch it no matter what. I'm not a perfectionist. Okay, I think you get the idea. Alrighty. Okay, where's my little slit? Should be like right about here, yeah. So that's where I will be stitching the rope to catch the quilting block. But you see, that's how that works. Okay, I'll do a little bit of stitching here. With my little handy dandy 1970s 1970s doesn't seem that long ago to me because I am almost 78 years old. So, but for younger people, that is ancient history. So this baby here, this little sweetie pie machine, is an antique. But actually, you have to be 100 years old to be an antique. You have to be 50 years old to be vintage. So I'm still vintage until I turn 100. So, which I intend to do. So let's see. What should we? Okay, we're going to do this at one row of the outer side here first. Move this little camera over. Let's see. That's the whole point of doing a video, right? Okay. Oh, slide my machine this way. That's better. Okay. So what I have this on, this machine only goes up to a 4 for the zigzag, and I'm using about a 10 in length. Every machine is different, so you have to, whatever machine you're using, play with it a little bit to see what works best for you. Now this has no fancy stuff, it's just a, you know, basic zigzag straight stitch. In fact, it's a Kenmore 10, so it gives you 10 stitches. But they're all zigzag, the extra stitches, different types of zigzags. But anyway, and let's hope she works nicely today. This machine was in a cabinet. I took it out of the cabinet. I got no room. I have 15 or 16 vintage machines now from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So I can't keep them in their cabinets. Isn't she a beauty? Look at that. So all I'm going to do is one go around just to catch in my fabric. My little quilt block here. And then we're going to do a little quilting. Cheating quilting kind of with the sewing machine. It doesn't have to be quilted. But let's keep with what its real purpose in life was supposed to be, a quilt. Gives it nice little dimension. This machine has a little squeak in it, I hear. Might need some more oil. These older machines do, because they're all metal. They do need more oil. But they will last forever if you take care of them. And you can maintain them yourself because they're just mechanical. But they have big motors in them. So they're the real heavy-duty machines if you're looking for something like that. They do great on rope bowls. Okay. All right, so we went all the way around. And next we're going to... This is all hand operated. I do have a computerized machine, but fancy dancy one. Okay, let me just snip off these threads. Okay, so you see it's just, you can go twice around if you would like. Now what I'm going to do is, now I think when you're quilting you go from the inside out. I think that's the mistake I made on this little bowl here because it's a little too puffy on the sides. Or it could just be the rope because it's a softer rope. Anyway, so I'm going to stitch here. I'm going to make a smaller, my foot down. I'm going to keep the zigzag, but I think of the width of the zigzag, I'm going to put it about a 2.5 here on this machine. And let's see how the length is. Oh, I think I'll make the length a little longer. Doesn't need to be tight, but this will keep the quilt attached to your base pretty good if you do this too. I think I'm going to put it on an 8 for the length. Let's see what happens. This is live. I don't edit my videos. What you see is what you get. Okay. Do a little tiny reverse. Let's see. We like that one. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zigzag all these little seams. Okay, take some of these stringies off. And I'm going to start in the center and work my way out. So I think I'll go do this one. This is just my way of doing things. Like I said, I am not a quilter. I think we'll call this faux quilting. But look how pretty it looks. Oh, I just love it. Just love it. And the little orphan quilt blocks have a life. Okay, let's see. Here's another center one. We'll do that baby. I don't know what this is called, a log cabin. Not familiar. I used to know these things a little better years ago, but I've been busy doing other things now. Okay. Continuing on. Okay, that's a seam, goes all the way down that way, so we will continue. And so on. So on. What a pun. Sorry. Okay, so what do we still have? We have these little outer ones. This one starts up here. Up here. I just love the sound of a sewing machine. Yeah, this one, I'm going to have to open this machine up and give it a little oil. It's got a little squeak somewhere here. It's probably sitting for years unused. It's my new hobby, is rescuing vintage sewing machines. I love them all. I got some Rocketeers, Slantomatics. They're all sitting on my dining room table, waiting to be gone over. Whoops. I hope that doesn't come out. Otherwise, I'll have to thread the needle. Ah, here we go. And go back a little. Okay. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I do answer all my my comments. To the best of my ability. Like, oh, there we go. Okay, now you're going to see me thread a needle. I cut it a little too short. Okay. In you go. Oh, good. Not bad for almost 78-year-old eyes, huh? Okay. Oh, goodness. There's my phone. Okay, I got this one here to do. Okay. I'm trying to rush. I don't really like to rush this much, but, you know, you guys get the idea. But I did want to show the finished finished look of this. Okay, do I have them all done? That one's done. That's done, 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 done. I think we're done. That wasn't so bad, was it? So if you have some old orphan quilt blocks around, or you rescue them or see them somewhere, this is something else you can do with them. Oh, here's a seam I missed. No, I didn't. It's right there. So this is how it looks. I like this very much. See, I went from the inside out. So that makes for much better. Now, if you want to do a little fancy stuff in here and here and here, you can. I'm not going to do it to this one. And I will finish this one off camera. We're just going to, you know, put it back up to 4, where I was. This is when I start raising my sides up a little. I just go up a little. I don't know if you can see me here. Say, up a little bit. I don't know, 45 degrees, I think they call it. Numbers are not my thing. I do what feels right. I've made hundreds of these bowls now. I do craft shows, so I do sell them. I'll be doing 4 shows this spring. I'm cutting back a little this year. Then I do about 10 shows in the fall before the holidays. So that's how I start lifting it up. I only go around once at that, and then I push it all the way up. People always want to know about how to get the straight sides. Now, this machine does not have a small nose, but I can still get pretty straight sides because I push it all the way up like this and push it hard for this next row. So for those of you that are trying to get your straight sides, it takes a little practice, but don't be afraid of it. Just push those sides up. So I'll do a second video for the finished and show the finished bowl. I never know exactly how they're going to turn out, but that's what makes them unique. See, once you start sewing, isn't this machine great? So that's how I do it. Adding the and then I cut some of the. It's not really matching, but I don't like matchy, but it's close enough. And I'll put a few wraps around it, not too many, like in this one. Push this out of the way here so you can see it better. See? So my bowls are all a little different. Like this. It'll be something like this. Okay. That's it for today. I hope that my instructions were clear. This is not a tutorial. It's just how I do things. Okay. See you next time. Have a good day.